Hey, how you doing? This is John and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're going to look at Elephantmen. This is issue number 0. This is the first cover of 4. This came out in 2006. I just got this because I'm cataloging my comics and I realized there was a 0 issue that I'm missing. I think I did Elephantmen number 1 before, but I love this series. Okay, so this is like the prequel. So here it is, the origin of the Elephantman. So I guess without further ado, let's talk about this comic. So let's look at the credits over here. Where are the credits? These are all the various covers, and this is just the credits of Image Comics, and there is the Indicia 2006, but we already knew that. So the credits will come later on in the issue. Or are they right here? Who cares? All right, we'll see them later. But this is a new beginning. Look at that. That's the splash page. I really dig the art and the colors in this. So what's going on? This is Nikon. He's Dr. Nikon. He's like a evil mad scientist. What's he doing? He's infusing animal and human DNA, and he's creating what they call the Elephantman. The Elephantman is a blanket term for these animal mutations, and it's just stuff of nightmares. Just look at this glorious art. Reminds me of like H.E. Giger, you know, from Alien and everything. So this is the creation of the first animal man, unnatural selection. So here is just like failures. He's looking at this. He's all happy. Just okay. So here's the credits. Richard Starking, stories and letters. Ladron, art and story. Joe Casey with Starcast dialogue. So that's just a phenomenal team, if you ask me. And again, I think the colors do a lot of the heavy lifting, but you know, what do you want me to say? So North Africa 2024, so 2224, so it's in the future. And Nikon, after all these failures, he created the first animal human hybrid, and he's all happy. And as he says, you know, they just discard the women. They kidnap like native women there, and then just like force them, like, you know, artificially inseminate them, and then force them through this. The pregnancy itself like rips them apart because these horrific animals. Then they burn their logos into the baby, and that's the origin of Hippopotamus Flask 2A or 7A. That's the origin of his name. And he's crying, and he's just like, dispose of the carrier. That's the woman. Dispose the woman. You know, their diamond doesn't. You know, why risk the resources repairing her? You know, spend the resources repairing that. It's a war torn. You know, in this part of the world in Africa, they're just grabbing women. Nobody even notices. They said it's just a nightmare. This is like, can hell get any worse? And here they are, just, you know, raising these little babies, although they're not so little. And then here they are being trained. They're just being brainwashed. You know, there's no such thing as free will. You work for Mappo. Mappo is the name of the company. You know, and what are they doing? They're making like slaves out of them. And poor Hip Flask asks questions, so he goes into a hole. You don't ask questions. You just do what you're told. And they're being trained to fight. Just so they got like zebras and rhinos and crocodiles and alligators and whatever, with hyenas, and, you know, they're just setting out to fight in the wars. There's, you know, the Chinese wars, the African wars, you know, the European wars, and they're just devastating because these they're like 12 feet tall, hulking monstrosities. They're like inhuman tanks. Just look at them, you know, they're just fighting and destruction. Just look at this artwork. It's just so glorious in its horror, you know. You know, people like horror comics. To me, this is a horror comic. This I know it's science fiction, but just the inhuman conditions that the Elephantmen, again, that's the blanket term, whatever animal species they are, they're just called Elephantmen, and they're just sent in. So this is pre-story. The main story is after the war. These, you know, look at these creatures. They're just being integrated in society. You know, so his corpse is just laying on the ground, and now, so this is after the war, when, you know, the governments are dealing with Nick. He's treated for war crimes and he's being arrested, and they're just digging out these shallow graves. And look, this guy says, look, looks like a human female. So just the mothers are just tossed in with the refuse that didn't make it. You know, they just a total disregard for humanity. To me, that is the scariest part. You know, this you know, treating a either you regard human life or you don't. That's to me, it's a black and white equation. You know, either you regard human life or you don't. What else can I say? And this is Savannah. She's like a woman celebrity that is pretty much like the champion of the Elephantmen rights. She marries one and causes like a political scandal and just champions them. So you know, it takes like a beautiful human to raise their lot in life, and they're all sterile, so they're just going to die out. They're not going to make any more. So just let them integrate society and go extinct. And there's, you know, because you could turn off the loudspeaker, they always will hear my voice in their heads, you know, and it's just horrific. And here's the others page. And here's, this was a great comic too. This is Books of Godland. I love this. Joe Casey, Tom Scaccoli, Nick Flarian, and Comic Craft. This was just excellent. I loved it. So here we got Unnatural Selection, Elephantman #0. Just a dark, to me, a horrific sci-fi comic. It is. There's issues that are upbeat, but overall, it was just a dark, gloomy comic. And I know I'm like a champion of Blue Sky Comics, but it fits this apocalypse. It's not superheroes, you know. It would make a wonderful movie. All right, so I'll stop here, and I'll see you later with another video. Bye-bye.